And I don't think I forgot anything. We're gonna start with introductory remarks. You've got 2 minutes, and go ahead. It's all yours.
Hi, I'm Olivia Chow, and yes, heritage matters. I live and breathe the heritage of this city, and I wrote a book recently called My Journey, and it's as much about the heritage of Toronto as it is about me, the place, the sights, and the sounds. The time that Jack Layton and I, where he would dress up as William Lyon Mackenzie and do walking tours of Necropolis, which is the oldest cemetery in this city. I explored every part of the city and worked with progressive councillors and citizens groups and Heritage Toronto to preserve, protect, and promote our heritage. And I restored our old Victorian homes in downtown Toronto. Heritage protection is central to who I am. And when I was a city councillor, I worked hard to promote the preservation of specific buildings, the character of neighborhoods, and adaptive reuse. Reformed citizens committees. I worked closely with the local residents association, like the Harbour Residents Association. I see members of them here. Worked with developers, all to preserve and protect our built heritage, our natural heritage, and our cultural heritage. So let's build on our successes like the Ballet School and the Kroner Hall. They are examples of marrying our heritage to a new building. Let's use this good city building approach so heritage preservation and development is a win-win for everyone. At the Mayor's office, I will keep heritage central to planning, create incentives and support to make sure that heritage always matters here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for hosting this debate to Heritage Toronto, and thank you very much, Reverend Stout, for hosting it in this wonderful building. Adaptive reuse that in fact teaches us the lesson immediately here and now on what we can do to both preserve our heritage and look to our future. My name is David Soknacki. I'd like to first introduce myself, give a little bit of background about myself, and talk about my priorities. From there, we'll move to heritage as part of the debate. My background has been first as a 3-term councillor, first the City of Scarborough and then at the City of Toronto, where I served as Mayor Miller's budget chair and held a number of other appointments. From there, I moved for a term as chair of Downsview Park, where we had the challenge of adaptive reuse and preservation of a lot of heritage buildings and a lot of heritage structures. Some triumphs and some challenges that we can get into later on in the debate. I've also had a background, 28 years of starting my own business from scratch, and learned a lot of lessons about the things that are important, I think, to everyday residents. What are my priorities as a councillor, as a citizen, and as mayor? Well, first and foremost, to make sure that we attend to every resident. And by that I mean, and in the terms of the overall debate, first of all, on transit has become number one, first and foremost. The LRT is in Scarborough. I think that that's an important investment. I've also spoken about having to have the resources to build and create the city we want, and to do that we need to tackle some of the important budgets such as policing and emergency services. And how are we going to, what are we going to do to create this city? Well, we're going to invest it in areas like heritage, we're going to talk about tonight, in parks, in affordable housing, and some of the key other areas. So heritage does matter, and I look forward to discussing that later on during the evening.
I want to say thank you for coming out and showing the interest tonight, and thank you to Heritage Toronto for organizing the event and for the work that they do to preserve our heritage, which I think is vitally important to our city's future. I think that by preserving our buildings, our monuments, our art, our natural features of the city, it keeps our history alive for generations to come. And I think oftentimes we think as a relatively young city, and it's maybe sort of baked in to our mindset a little bit, that we don't have a history, or that our history isn't somehow as much worth preserving as might be the case if we're a country with a much longer kind of history. And we have to teach ourselves, and I think awareness is a big part of this, that it's, heritage isn't just about what's 150 years old, but it may well be what's 50 years old. And I've had lessons in learning this too. When I was doing the report for the Ontario government on Ontario Place, we had a lot of views with respect to the preservation of the Cinesphere. And you'll have views on that, some pro and some con, but I came to understand that for a lot of people that was an iconic feature of the city that was only 44 years old but had become a part of our heritage during that period of time. And I agreed with that position in the report that we wrote, saying it should be preserved, as opposed to those who said just tear it all down and kind of start over again. But the heritage, of course, is, as you know in this room, because you're interested enough to be here, isn't limited to iconic landmarks or nice old houses in downtown Toronto. It's also found in neighborhoods from Scarborough to Etobicoke, where perhaps there's even less recognition of the fact that there is heritage that has to be preserved, significant post-war architectural heritage, for example, or streetscapes like we see in Bloor West Village. And then, of course, we come to our natural features like the tree canopy, green spaces, and so on. And each of these things tell us stories about events that have shaped our city. I think that we have to focus on making sure that we carry out heritage and archaeological evaluations in a timely but complete manner. And I think we have to do a lot more to raise awareness of heritage, because I think the lack of awareness leads to misunderstanding in the community a lot of the time. And I'll look forward to discussing all of this this evening. Thank you.